Right, your first fight in Vegas. I'm just curious. I mean, I'm sure this isn't exactly the circumstances you were dreaming about, thinking about the fight capital of the world someday. But I mean, is this experience or the fight itself special?
Yeah, man. Like everything this week is special now because I'm like co-main event, fighting a ranked guy. I get a fight in Vegas, and that's 3 pretty cool things. And like I didn't find out I was co-main event until I landed, so I was like, man, that sort of kicked off the fight week pretty cool. So yeah, man, I'm loving it so far.
That's awesome. I know you've spent some time out here with some of your teammates. Did that prove beneficial at all in terms of like knowing exactly what to expect with this whole COVID situation?
Yeah, like I came here with Carlos, so I've seen all this before, and I've seen the cage. I know it's a bit smaller, and I've been to Vegas with Israel and with Alex for their bigger fights, so there's nothing new, to be honest. Yeah.
Certainly you're experienced in combat sports, but I mean, were you expecting a ranked opponent this time out? Did you feel like you had done enough to earn this type of opportunity?
I feel like I had. I wasn't sure if they were going to give me one, so I'm pretty happy that they have. And I know a lot of people didn't want to fight Gregor, so I was more than keen. I'll throw me that bone. I'll eat it.
I was kind of curious if you wanted to fight him, right? Because on the one, like, how did you think when they gave you this name? How did you see it? Because on the one hand, right, like he's got incredible grappling, which might seem to be tough for you. On the other hand, you know that your striking is probably leaps and bounds above his. So, how did you see it when they gave it to you?
Oh, we're like polar opposites, right? It's sort of like who gets the better with their skill first, and like I've said in the past, I believe that learning like years and years of striking. I'm definitely not saying wrestling, but I'm saying. I think it's far easier to learn how to get up and get back to striking than try catch up to a very, very high level striker. So that's a big focus of mine. And yeah, man, I'm really excited to fight Gregor and see where my wrestling is against like an All-American. I mean, that's like the pinnacle here, and it's going to be cool to test myself against that. And he's a gamer, he's not a dickhead of a guy. He seems like a good bloke, and he just goes in there and competes, and that's what I do. So I'm pretty keen to butt heads with him. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, stylistically it'd be a lot of fun. As you said, co-main ESPN, it's a big deal, but you've seen stadiums and such too. So I mean, on fight night, does it feel like a big deal? I mean, leading up to it, you realize it, but on fight night, does it feel like a big moment?
On fight night, I honestly just have I just have tunnel vision, and that's just getting in there and beating Gregor. Up until then, I enjoy everything, and I look forward to weighing in and, eating and stuff after that. But yeah, just one goal on that day, one goal.
Do you think about where this would put you? I mean, you're still so early in your UFC career. This is a big win over a guy with a reputation. So I mean, this early in your UFC run, do you feel like people need to be talking about you as top 10, top 5 contender, that type of stuff?
Well, after the weekend, yeah. After the weekend, yes. So I'll get this win, and then against a wrestler of that caliber, it's going to make a lot of people above me in those rankings pretty nervous, I think.
Nice. Last thing for me, I'm just curious, kind of what kind of fight you do see playing out, right? Because as you said, polar opposites. On the one hand, you could go out and do something spectacular, performance of the night worthy. On the other hand, you might have to really be tested and grind and battle. So when you play this thing out in your head, which one of those scenarios do you think is true?
Well, I'm fully prepared for both. You know what I mean? I spent a camp preparing for the best Gregor, and the best Gregor is Gregor getting you down and keeping you down. So I'm obviously going to avoid that at all costs and stick to my bread and butter. But yeah, man, it's going to be cool.
Hey, man. When Gregor was out here earlier, he was saying he's gotten so much criticism after the Kevin Lee fight.
Yeah.
Do you think going into this, fans are completely underestimating just how good this guy is?
Yeah, for sure. People seem to forget, or when I say that, fans seem to forget that in the sport, somebody wins and somebody loses. And everybody trains hard at this level. All of us train as hard as we can every day, and it's who steps in there on the night and has that little 1% extra. And Kevin Lee had it that night. It was pretty early in the fight, if I remember, that he got knocked out, right? So, yeah, I don't think he deserves criticism. I mean, look what he did before that. It's just the fans being fans, man. They just like to chew people up sometimes, and unfortunately it was Gregor. But yeah, this could be beneficial or detrimental, that loss for him. Beneficial in the way that it could make him very hungry to get back to where he was. Detrimental that he's fighting another high-level striker and he got knocked out striking. So I prepared for the best Gregor, and we'll see which one comes up.
Do you look at the strike Kevin Lee landed, which I think was a left hook, and think, well, that's an opening, or do you think, well, he's obviously going to go away and work on that defense?
Nah, it was an overhand right, left high kick. Yeah, I was like, he slipped, yeah. I'm sure he's worked on it. I'm sure that's in his mind. But I see other holes. So, and luckily I have a huge arsenal of things to use in striking. So, yeah, does that answer the question? Yeah. So
What's your travel situation?
Going home? Yeah, everyone wants to know about that, eh? I'm here 5 weeks, including the 2 weeks of quarantine at home. So I'm here for Alex next week, and Shane, support them, and Jamie. And then I leave April 3rd and get home and do my 2 weeks. I was originally leaving April 10th, but I managed to jump online the other day and grab an earlier voucher, so I get home 8 days earlier now, which is, I'm stoked about that.
Do you guys ever compare who's got to stay away from home?
Nah, man, because it sucks. It sucks being away that long. My last one was 9 weeks, and it was like the end of my partner's pregnancy. So I was panicking. I was like, man, I'm gonna miss the birth of my kid. And she managed to find us a voucher a home a little earlier. So I got out of quarantine in New Zealand just before my daughter was born. And so, yeah, staying away, especially now, my daughter's 7 weeks old, it pisses me off. I feel like there's definitely a better solution to this from my government, and I feel like they need to work that out. Especially when we're going away and representing the country, and then we've got to pay to come home. I'm not going to start on that, but
Who does the silver fern belong to?
it belongs to the country. It belongs to anyone that represents that country and they're proud of their country and they want to go out there and show that we are in the world. We're way down the bottom, but we're still in the world. So the silver fern belongs to all of us. It belongs to the land, like it's a native plant. So yeah, I'll leave it there.